Hi everyone, we are back to now take a look at encoding our categorical variables. So just to quickly recap, in the first video we talked about how to import our data set, remembering to go and locate the folder where your data is stored, make sure that we're setting our working directory to that folder, and then running the code that tells our how to import that data set. So now you'll see in the environment tab, we've got our data. And then when we looked at our data set, we're like, oh, that's too bad. We have some missing values, but you know what? We know a tool that can handle this. We're going to calculate the average and replace those missing values with the mean. And so we did that for the age value for Spain and then the salary value for Germany. So I'm going to take those two lines of code, highlight them, run them, and now take another look at our data set. So we've dealt with the missing values, and the last piece is to kind of transform our text variables, categorical variables, into numbers. So that's that whole concept of encoding, because as we know, the computer doesn't really understand text the way that we do. So we need to change that into a numeric value. So we're going to start with the country names. And so we had three country names, France, Spain, and Germany. And we're going to use a built-in function, that factor is what that function is called. And we're going to use that. It needs three arguments. It needs to know the data that you want it to work with. And then it needs a level and labels. And so the levels, we're going to have three levels because we have three different country names. And then our labels, to keep things simple, are going to be 1, 2, and 3. So France will be 1, Spain will be 2, and Germany will be 3. So let's take a look at what that code is going to look like. So we're going to set up another variable. So we're going to call it, say, data set. And this time we are going to select country. We're going to set that equal to factor. Again, that's that built-in function. And we're going to identify the column of data that we want to work with. Again, country. And then we're going to say the level, which we just talked about as being the country names. And so we've got to write those out. And so each of the country names needs to be in quotes. Bring my code down so it's easier to read. Then we're going to add the labels. We're going to go with 1, 2, and 3. So you might be wondering what the C is for that we added to the code. The C, before the, in the labels and levels section, we added this C right outside the parentheses. So this notation means we are creating a vector, which is a single array of values. So take another quick look at our code, make sure that we've got close parentheses, that everything is happy. And then we're going to go up here and hit run. Yay, everything worked. So let's take another look at our data. And so now when we look, we see that the country column no longer has the names France, Spain, and Germany. Instead, they've now been replaced with numbers. And so let me just pull up the Excel file so you can see. France is 1, 2 is Spain, and 3 is Germany. So that worked quite well. So when we look at our data, we recognize, under the purchase column, we also have some text that we need to convert. I think in this situation, we only have 2 levels. So I think it'd be appropriate to set no to 0 and yes to 1. So let's go, and again, for time's sake, I'm going to borrow this code, and I'm going to, as always, if you are cutting and pasting the be careful, but we can go in and switch all of our countries to purchase. We'll do that first. And then this time, we don't have 3 levels, we only have 2. We have yes and no. So we're going to change that. And because we only have 2 levels, we only need 2 labels. We're going to go 1 for yes, 0 for no. Take another just quick look over my text, make sure I haven't missed anything. And we're going to hit run. Looks like that went smoothly. Take a look at our data set, and I'll bring up the Excel file, just that makes it a little easier. So where we had no, we now have a 0. Where we had yes, we now have a 1. So we have completed this step of encoding our categorical variables. I hope that you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.